Hey Aquarius, how are you doing? Let's find out. Let's take 3 cards from this major arcana of Japanese prince. Take 3, use them as an oracle, so to speak, right? Then we'll clarify with Tattoo Tarot. And then to close off, we'll take 3 cards from the Ancient India major arcana and see what's what. I'm really loving how these cards are working together. And let's just get right into it. Let's breathe into the cards a bit. Hang on. You know what? I'm going to pause. I see 2 candles need to be relit, and that needs to be taken care of. Absolutely. We want our light. Hang on, and then we will divide that up. But this means something, so I'm leaving it in, this relighting the flames. Okay, let's just check. Focus. Good, good. Okay. And let's see, Aquarius. What do we have first? We have the Empress. Oh, I haven't seen her for a while. The future will bring healing and respite for your emotional and physical wounds. Hey, Star. Your investments will pay off if you carefully tend to them. Yeah, I always think it's interesting what these investments are. Okay. Emotional and physical wounds. I really like this deck. It interprets the cards so differently than I normally do. The Hierophant. Look to the support of a solid organization or structured principles to achieve success. Your actions should be motivated beyond selfish reasons. Which would mean these are the investments we're looking at. I mean, this is typical Aquarius interests, the bigger picture. So that'll be interesting to see what the details of that are going to be, that we'll get into. The Magician. The future before you is uncertain, presenting both risk and opportunity. A triumph or creative success may bring about a new beginning for you. These are very, it's like, yeah, okay. Uranus, as I pronounce it in the Greek, represents where your skills, your interests, your uniqueness, yes, and also your areas of non-conformity. That's what I was told to include. I just finished my astrology workbook, and there's a download link for that. It's a free 13-month, 350-page PDF that can be resent to you as a Word file, I guess a document file that can be edited easily, and have your chart information included, your chart included. But yeah, these areas of non-conformity where you're as much yourself, the individual, as the humanitarian, and it's in everybody's interest. It's in your own best interest plus theirs. Wow. Okay, so really, I take this as, others will take it as a Pluto, Mars, Scorpio card. I take it as an Uranus, Aquarius card. Like the flash of genius. The thing that you build up, and then it's like, okay, now, what does it become? This new thing, right? Because it said, the future before you is uncertain, presenting both risk and opportunity. So either the tower is in the future or the tower happened, and because of the tower, there is uncertainty. But of course, it's only perceived uncertainty, right? There is something you're here to do. And this is part of the process. And that's divine timing. Wow. Okay, so Sagittarius and Capricorn also got the World card. So time for mutable energies, because I classify you not as fixed. I should point that out because it's the same for Capricorn. Earth and air energies I reclassified because Ptolemy based his classification on the cardinal points, the solstices. And that's okay, but that's only one reason for classifying them that way. And I've got like 3 or 4 different reasons for classifying them otherwise. Your action, mutable means your actions are dependent, somewhat dependent on the actions of others. And as a humanitarian, absolutely, you can come up with whatever you need to come up with in your bubble, but until it can be applied, until other people respond to it, right? And get all that work done and figuring out how to communicate it to them in a way that they'll hear it, see it, even if it's, you follow, if you follow the marketing arc of, you know, you have early adopters, yes. And then once you need to get to 16% of the overall market in order to reach mass appeal. And then that tips the scales. And then your later responders and your, you know, your highly resistant audiences start to convert. Some never will, right? But it's that critical 16% that you want to reach. And in order to reach, you need to, so you go to, you figure out your uniqueness and you take it to other people that understand the uniqueness, if that's the plan, and then you let it take hold with them and see how they support it, right? And then it grows from there. Something like that. So yes, you have this world following this completion, but yes, it's a time for sharing. So maybe there's some fine tuning. Maybe there's some tweaking that needs to be done. In marketing, we call it split testing. And you try a whole bunch of, you create a bunch of different versions of how to communicate what you're doing. And you put them all out there. And this can involve paid advertising. I just finished a set of paid Facebook ads. And I'm going to be setting up ads with YouTube and Google. I really like organic reach on Twitter. Not that I love all of these places, but I do like what I can do with them. And there are several other apps, areas that I'm using, social media. Yes, but split testing is where, yeah, you experiment and you just try and you see how to express your idea in a bunch of ways, and then how people can respond, whether or not they're responding to it. You just test it out on people and give it some time. You need to give like them a few days or whatever, right? And yes, with social media, often in order to get the circulation, because they will hide your stuff if you're trying to get away with sharing something, unless it's going to go viral, and you have that built in. Like, I've talked to an author who's in the top 1% of Kickstarter campaigns, yeah? She talked with me for an hour. We were in a business group together, Marie Forleo's B School, a few years ago. And I wanted to know, and I invested in her for talking to me, yes? Because she talked to me for an hour. Then. Okay. Battery cut out. So I won't go on too long, but yeah, you build up the audience and then sell to it, right? And it worked for her because she was Mormon, so her whole Mormon family, absolutely, like what, 30-40 people got on board with it, spread the word, you know. And so not all of us have that, but we can expect to generate something like that first. And this might not, well, yeah, what we're really doing is we're talking about getting something out there. So even if it's not even something you're selling, but it's still something you want to communicate, the principles are the same, and the methods are probably actually quite similar. I pay to promote something that I'm giving away for free. That's what I do. Because I want to make sure they get seen, because it'll get screened away, it'll get hidden otherwise, because I don't have the viral audience. But I believe in paying for my cleaning clients. I pay for them. I paid to advertise my cleaning business. That's what you do. If your intentions are what they are, then, you know, it depends on how fast you want this to work, how deep you want it to go. So this tower, all this divine timing, 4 of Wands in reverse. So that structure, Saturn energy of structure and fears, boundaries, and therefore calculated risks. But don't we have the Empress? Yes. Investments will pay off. I mean, she rules. She rules, like I don't see the Empress. Okay, Empress is Venus, and I don't see Venus as primarily, I see Mars. Mars actually traces a heart around, in its path around Earth, right? Everything has a geocentric, an Earth-centric path, as well as a solar-centric. And it traces a heart. Venus traces a 5-petaled flower. But what are you willing to fight for in Mars energy, right? And that's where your heart is. Your heart is where your loyalties and your, you know, yeah, what you're willing to do battle for. This fire energy. So this looks like it's tied to the Tower. Some sort of stability is over, but it was going to be over. So there might be some solitude in this. But it's taking us back to the 3 of Wands, where he's waiting for his ship to come in. He's made a deal. He has faith. It's coming in. And he's waiting in faith. And you really, I mean, you want to get the right 4. You want to get the right structure. So if you look at your chart and find where your Saturn is, and the fire energy, the Wands energy, I take to be what kind of trouble you want to cause in the world. Good, you know, good trouble. So that would be completely Seven of Swords in reverse. 7s are transformations, and this would be in knowledge, thinking, communication. And it's leading back to the 6. So you need to hear, you need a gift from, 6s are gifts from guides, God. Other, you know, via, like either directly to you or via other humans, animals, you know, anything that can communicate to you. To let you know you're on the right path. And of course that 6 of Swords, that gift of safe path, you know, like that gift comes with, you know, what this Empress card is speaking of, with healing and respite. And but then we need this transformation. The transformation of the 7, which is the commitment, the promise to yourself of what you're going to. And I get that from Archangel Guidance, that 7s are promises to self. Archangel Guidance on YouTube, the channel. Promises to self, this commitment of becoming, yes. And in Swords energy in this deck, it would be how you're going to present yourself, how you're going to communicate yourself, how you're going to listen to others, what you're going to say, why you want to say it. And so that might need to be worked out on paper again. Okay, other half. See if there's anything else, then we'll go to the India deck. Okay, so Three of Pentacles, Taurus energy, because I would put Taurus as cardinal earth, which means this is a financial situation as much as anything. Yeah, it's a work collaboration situation. It's putting the right value on yourself, pricing yourself correctly. And if money doesn't involve with this, then it's just self-worth is separate from, but we could say self-worth. Because you can still, just like Quietest Revolution will say, just like Amber will say, you can value yourself, no problem. You can have tremendous self-worth, in a sense of self-worth, and still not price yourself to what you're worth being paid. Yeah? They're two separate things. And she gets that from somebody else, I know. But anyway, that's enough credit to give before I forget everything. But this is conflicts. For me, this has started off being a conflict of interest card. Like, who are you getting into bed with, so to speak, that you could regret? That they're going to come calling one day, or they're going to groom you for something that you don't want to be groomed for. And that brings me back, yeah, it's bringing me back to the Hierophant of look to the support of solid organizations or structured principles to achieve success. Whereas I would say right now that's coming through as look to your Saturn placement. Look to your Capricorn placements. Look to your own placements because Saturn co-rules you. Remember, Saturn co-rules you with Uranus. So just as much as your non-conformity matters, your boundaries, your calculated risks, and your fears of your Saturn are going to allow your non-conformity to thrive. It can't. It's floundering without that. The complement too. And that's why you have co-rulers. Yes, okay. Let's breathe some life into, not life, but let's just breathe into the India deck. Woo! Just wanted to slip away. I'm still recording. Miracle, I am. Let's see what they want to say. Ooh, it's probably just me. Probably just me. One more. Emperor. Okay. As we move, as the sun is halfway, yeah, out of Pisces into Aries, it'll hit Aries. Oh, my neighbors. Okay. People. Everybody. This is... Okay. We got Magician twice there. But we start with the Devil. So Capricorn energy. Exactly. Saturn energy. The eternal dance between the temptation of external pleasure and the satisfaction of inner happiness. Who wins? Who wins? I'm going to see if I can get this out while this battery's dying because the other battery's dying. We're just going through batteries like crazy. Who wins? So exactly that inside, outside, that core Aquarius versus humanitarian Aquarius. What's in it for you? What's in it for them? And doing right by both. Because the winning is in the balance. One doesn't win at the cost of the other. they're not meant to, one's not meant to lose to the other. They're complementary. And then, like everybody else is getting the Death card, which just makes sense because we're heading from Pisces into Aries, yes? What is it time to release? Is it anger, pride, or ego? Is it attachment, suffering, and pain? Be free, burn the rest in the pyre. Well, there's your pyre. It's already gone. And the Magician. Start moving and be open to the magic all around you. Find a magic snake charmer and success will be yours. Yes, so you need to get into this. She's got wands. Yes. Can do anything. Can do anything. So the question is, but then, remember, optimization. Remember, experiment. Do the magician thing, right? Try things out. If one thing doesn't work, it's only because you're meant to stretch and you're meant to build your muscles in this, right? And so, absolutely, play. Engage in it as positive. Engage in it as opportunities. And when rejection comes, if it comes, then you just learn from it and you adapt and be motivated by it because you're engaged. You're fighting to put this together, to put it out there. And yes, as far as the Hierophant energy, that structure, absolutely go into your chart, get your Saturn placements because something's hidden in there totally to use to your advantage. And I'm gonna go give my neighbors hugs and kisses. All right, Aquarius, I'll be back in a week. And I'm curious to know if you want any more marketing help, if that's an issue, well, go watch Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube. Gary V, absolutely. Okay, but half of what I know I get from him about that stuff. Well, no, I've got it from a lot of different sources. I put a lot of money into learning it from a lot of different people. Okay, much love.